Okay, Graybeard here. I did this for the Falcon and Winter Soldier, got most of those predictions right. You probably already knew that. So I wanted to do one for Loki. First, I'm not some kind of an insider. I've not gotten to see the show before it's been released, and I am pretty excited about the show. Um, None of the things I'm going to be talking about is in any way a spoiler because I've not seen it. But if you feel like you'll have trouble sleeping tonight if you don't watch this, or if you do watch this, please back out now. This is your last chance to hop off the spoiler-free prediction train. So this is just going to be a bunch of predictions. So that's enough time, I think. So here we go. So I'm going to have 10 predictions, and I think I'm going to get them all right. Number one, in the comics, Loki, the god of mischief, is always in trouble. So I'm not going to make that a prediction. He's going to be in trouble. He's always in trouble, guys. One thing that happened is after Ragnarok in the comics, Asgard ended up in Oklahoma because why not? And Loki died with most of the Asgardians, and he came back, and his new form, he was a woman. So my first prediction is we're going to get to see Loki as a woman. Another thing he did was he came back as a kid, and that kid ended up involved with the Young Avengers, ended up involved with a whole bunch of young team ups. So I believe Marvel is setting up the Young Avengers, and we already have Stature with Cassie Lang. We have Wiccan, we have Speed with Tommy and Billy from the WandaVision show, and we have Patriot from Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that was one of the things I predicted would happen, and of course it did. So I think we're going to see Kid Loki, and Kid Loki will ultimately be part of those Young Avenger team-ups. Basically, it's a pretty smart idea for Marvel to go ahead and do that, and the reason is, might as well bring kids into the show. All right, next, both of these will be from variant timelines, and they are going to survive the purge. I think Loki's mostly there to help bring the timeline back together. When we saw that little graph that kind of shows some variants, those variants are supposedly caused by Loki. I think we're going to find out that some of those variants aren't, in fact, caused by Loki. But yeah, we're going to see all that. And we're going to see them trying to bring those variants under control and purge the issues. And I don't think they're going to. All right, next. So the goal, number 4, so that was number 3, that those guys are going to survive. The number 4 is the goal is to get rid of the variant timelines, or what some may call the multiverse. And they will not be successful in doing that. They're going to get rid of some of the timelines, but ultimately there's still going to be a multiverse. So I think Wanda caused the multiverse to some degree. I think Loki caused the multiverse to some degree. I think Kang, the Conqueror, caused the multiverse to some degree. Ultimately, there's still going to be a multiverse. There's still going to be variant timelines. And these are going to lead into Spider-Man, and these are going to lead into Doctor Strange. So that's how we get, Tobey Maguire. That's how we get other folks into the Spider-Man movie. So that's my fourth prediction there. Loki and Mobius are going to be a buddy cop show, same as Sam and Bucky. Although I honestly think Loki and Mobius, a lot funnier, a lot better show. Not that Sam and Bucky didn't work out. It's just Stoic Cop and Stoic Cop this doesn't work. So we're going to have that funny cop. We're going to have Loki making fun of things. We're going to have Mobius making fun of us. Mobius and Mobius. All right. The bad guy isn't going to be Loki. The bad guy will actually be the bureaucracy of the Time Variance Authority, the TVA. Sort of like the guy from Sword was in WandaVision. Sword, the bureaucracy really was the bad guy. It's kind of like in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the bureaucracy that made um, John Walker Cap was really the bad guy there. It wasn't. It's mostly that bureaucracy. All right, Mobius ultimately will let Loki go, and he's going to be a good guy. I think Mobius is a good guy. I think Kang the Conqueror will show up. Ravonna Renslayer, she's going to show up. That's Kang the Conqueror's girlfriend. And in the end, Loki won't be killed. I think this variant will survive and live through the event. And I think the other two variants are going to survive and live through the event. So those are my top 10 predictions. I honestly got tired of all the folks making predictions and just missing the mark. Because I've read the comics, I kind of know sort of the area they're going to go towards. I think I'm getting this pretty close. I also think this is going to be a darn good movie, an amazing TV show. So where the movies only have a couple of hours to give you the idea of what's going on, TV shows have, up to an hour each for 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours even some shows. So remember, this is kind of another thing that's a big deal. You may be thinking we're getting Loki, the same Loki that died at Thanos' hand, the person who was willing to sacrifice himself for other people. That's not the Loki we're getting. We're getting the Loki from the first movie who hasn't had all that growth and who isn't the martyr. He still has things to work out. So it's kind of cool we get to hop back into that first version and watch him grow again. Will he be a good guy? Will he be a bad guy? More than likely he's going to be a little bit of both. Would be surprised if we see him do some things that are pretty evil. Would be surprised if we see him do some things that are pretty good as well. That's actually the kind of the good thing about Marvel Comics versus DC Comics. DC Comics have basically gods trying to be regular people. So Superman trying to be a human being, not quite great at it because he is Superman. Where Marvel has regular people who are trying to be gods. So that's where we get with Loki. I think it's going to be a great ride. I like both shows so far that have been released. If I were to grade them, I'd give WandaVision a B. I'd give Falcon and Winter Soldier a C, mostly because I could foresee the whole show, and maybe if I hadn't read the comics, maybe if I didn't know so much about the source material, I wouldn't feel that way. Maybe you guys feel differently. But I think this is the show that everybody's going to say is an A+. I think we're going to look back on these shows and realize they had some far-reaching effects for the MCU, especially WandaVision. But I think this show, the Loki show, is going to set up some things into motion that lead right into those movies. And if I'm wrong, make fun of me below. I think I'm going to be just as right as I was with the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. I'll hop on here every week just so I can check off my top 10 predictions and kind of go over the cool things that happened on the show. Or I can hop in here and say, I was wrong, missed the mark. Thanks all. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to hear some more old gray beer comic reader talk about TV shows. Thanks a lot, everybody.